Welcome back to the Moyne Way Podcast, where we explore the people, ideas, and everyday moments that shape life here at Moyne, told through authentic stories, open conversations, and the spirit that makes this community one of purpose and belonging. I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in for another week. We have the one and only Kasha Godleski.
Hello.
How are we doing today?
Doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to come sit with me. So
Thank you. I appreciate
let's
being here.
dive right in like a dolphin.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is, what originally brought you to Moyne and what made it feel like the right place for you?
Okay. So this is a story. I'll try to tell the short version, but
Okay.
I graduated from college back in the 90s, and my first job out of college was here at Moyne in the admissions office. I had met somebody from Moyne when I was a senior in college. I was doing an internship, and I met someone from Moyne, and so connected with him, ended up landing this job. Ned Harris, an alum of Moyne.
Shout out to Ned.
Shout out to Ned. Really special person to me. He hired me, and I started here 2 months after I graduated from college. Worked with an incredible team of people, from Ned Harris, Steve Knights, a bunch of shout-outs here, Darlene Gray, Cleet Gualtieri. I can't even name them all because wonderful, incredible people. And I just connected with these people so quickly that I knew this was a special place. So just connected, and these people became my lifelong friends. And as many people know, it's where I met my husband. So I started in July. Man walked in the door 6 weeks later, and I thought, who's that guy interviewing for a job? And we became best friends, and then turned into something else. And now we've been married for a long time and have 3 kids. So
yeah.
I hope that sums up why Moyne is a special place. That's how I ended up here.
I'm interested to know, like, what do you remember a certain moment or period where you were like, yeah, Moyne, this is where I want to be. Like, was it a certain, I don't know, like just a vibe you got, or was it a certain interaction or situation or experience that was like, yeah, this is where I want to kind of put my feet down for now? Obviously, you didn't know you'd be here forever, but yeah, what was it about Moyne that really made you like, yeah, I want to put my feet down and be here?
I think it was, the people. I think day one when I showed up for work and was greeted so warmly and met these other young professionals that started on the same day. I started with 2 other young men and just connected with them really quickly. So the people, I think that's what we always say about Moyne, it's the people. Yeah. But then it was kind of this on-ramp of learning more about Moyne, who we are as an institution, about Ignatian spirituality and the Jesuit values. All of that kind of combined that I thought, this is where I am. And I found myself professionally, like, even though I did not go to college at Moyne, I went somewhere else, I felt really educated by Moyne. It was where I learned how to be a professional.
Wow.
I was surrounded by really great people that taught me that you can have fun at work, but there's a time and a place to have fun, and there's a time and a place to really bring your A game.
Wow.
And we really wanted to do good work because we all loved Moyne so much and loved our students. So we wanted to do good things in the admissions office to recruit the next group of dolphins. So it was this on-ramp of the people were immediate, and then as I learned more about the institution and what it stood for and our values and our mission, then I was in.
Yeah.
And I was here just for a couple of years and then left. My husband and I moved around. We came back in 1999 where my husband started back at Moyne. And then I worked at a couple of different places in Syracuse. And I watched Mark having this experience at Moyne where he was growing not only as a professional but as a person.
Wow.
And he was really growing spiritually. And I saw that and I was so envious of that. And that's when I thought in my head, I really want to get back to Moyne. And so it was about 13 years ago when an opportunity became available, and it was in athletics, where I was doing engagement and fundraising for athletics, and was able to get that opportunity. So came back in that job, and then a couple years later moved into advancement and annual giving and alumni engagement, and so I've
that's what I was
saying. So kind of jumping ahead.
No, that's good. But I wanted to know, because you had said, like, you saw how Mark, your husband, was growing not only professionally but personally. How for you did you see yourself start to grow personally when you started to really be embedded here in the community? Like, what things really like stood out to you? Like, yeah, this is really shifting me as a person and making me better in these areas.
Right. So when I came back and working in athletics, I was working for Matt Bassett, who was the athletic director at the time, and he was the one that came up with Inside the L, which is now the Moyne Way, in a sense, how they're related. So I saw how we could bring the spiritual piece into our work, and so I was learning through that and growing. And then the experience that Mark was having here, he was a part of this professional group where they would meet monthly and they would check in personally, professionally, and spiritually.
That's beautiful.
And he was doing this with his colleagues. Like, it was providing the space to bring your whole self, right? I was at other places where you just brought your professional self. You came in, you did your job, you went home.
Boom.
That's kind of all they wanted to know. If you know me, I've always formed relationships no matter where I am.
She's amazing
so
at relationships.
I can break down that barrier pretty quickly. But to see that you could bring your whole being, your authentic self, and that people cared about that. So through my experience working in athletics, but then joining this group, so I did that same group that Mark did with a different set of people where we checked in once a month. And that's where I really felt myself growing and learning from each other where we were personally, professionally, and spiritually, and especially that spiritual part, which is a piece that I've always been drawn to.
Yeah, same. And I resonate with everything you said completely. I think it's the reason why I'm still here,
right?
For sure.
It
For
draws
sure.
us in, and you can't leave.
You feel it. It's
feel
it's
it.
really embedded. So
because there's not many places that I have found, and I've been around, a number of different places. There's no other atmosphere like this where you really can bring your whole being and your authentic self.
Yeah, no. And I'm really grateful we're talking about this, because even in this moment, it's helping me to just sit in that gratitude for, Lemoyne and the community that is cultivated here. So, yeah. Having worked in the Lemoyne alumni office, what did you learn about the long-lasting impact Lemoyne has on students even after they graduate?
Our alumni are incredible people.
Yeah.
Incredible. 99% are just these warm, incredible people that really care for others, that live the Lemoyne spirit, that live the Lemoyne way.
Yeah.
They are authentic. They care for each other. They care for our world. So I learned that about that population and how much they want to give back to students, whether it be, we always talk about time, talent, treasure. So especially in the alumni office, with the volunteer opportunities that our alums can give back, whether it's to support our students, whether it's to support their fellow alums, the way they give back through their treasure. So many of them give so graciously and expect nothing in return.
Wow.
It's really such a humble group of people. So I learned that about this community. And it's funny, every once in a while, you run into a kind of a cranky alum, and I'm always so shocked and because it just doesn't happen very often.
Right.
Where there's people in the world like that all the time, but we just don't encounter them that much, I think, either as Lemoyne students or Lemoyne alums. But our alumni are just really a special group, how they care for each other and how they care for the institution.
Yeah, most definitely. And I've seen that recently as well, too. That's very true. Obviously, we have the new Grace Center, and, you are the director of the Grace Center. Talk about that transition and what that was like for you, but also kind of the mission and the vision behind how you see the Grace Center and that impacting the Lemoyne community.
Okay. So, it kind of came in waves. There was an opening in campus ministry, and I've always worked closely with people in campus ministry and have just admired the work that is done out of that office. And then when Kathy Purcell made this gift to name the Grace Center, I thought, gosh, what a beautiful name.
What a beautiful name.
I mean, how wonderful that Kathy Purcell's maiden name was Grace. So the Grace Center for Faith and Community, and faith and community are probably the two important things, because faith, obviously, as we talked about, that spiritual piece is so important to me. And community also means just relationship, right? And so those are just two of the most important things in my world. So I just thought, what a beautiful name, what a beautiful idea to have this center. And then when the opportunity came up, as I was talking to different people on campus, I thought, yeah, I could do this job. I don't have all the skills, but I think I have the skills that are important, and which is that passion for faith and community. So if we can bring people together and then be able to talk about faith and spirituality and religion, all of those things. Having 3 young adults as children and seeing their faith journey, if I can help provide that to other young people,
Yeah.
that they can find their space and where where they're comfortable, whether it's a spiritual experience, a religious experience, whatever it is, if they can just find their space and get into some sort of practice,
Yeah.
that they're working that part of themselves, is what really attracted me to this opportunity. And I'm so excited to be here. And then to work with the incredible group in the
Yeah.
Grace Center, that we can all bring these ideas together and have kind of this entrepreneurial spirit, right?
Yeah, it's
because
beautiful.
it's a new thing. We can make it up as we go along and
Yeah.
and tweak it as we go. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited
It
about
is a great group at the Grace Center, so shout out
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
everybody that's a part
Our
of that.
incredible colleagues, right?
You were talking about faith a lot, and I think something that I've realized with Lemoyne is how inclusive it tries to make it. I think specifically with the Grace Center, and how we're trying to lead different initiatives and stuff like that. We really want to be open to everybody. How important has that been, for you cultivating relationships and also shining that Lemoyne spirit on and across the Lemoyne community?
I think we're all such different human beings, and so with different needs, and so that's so important that we have that space for people to find themselves wherever it is. And again, having 3 young adults as children and seeing their journey and what we tried to provide to them as they were growing up. We are churchgoers. We're Catholic. I have found going to church, and I would always tell my kids, it's 1 hour a week that we sit quietly. Whether you listen, no offense to all the wonderful priests out there, whether you listen to the word and their homily, you can choose to do that, and you can choose not to. But to sit quietly 1 hour a week, just 1 hour a week, I think it's just such a great practice. And luckily, my kids kind of bought into it,
Right.
and I think they appreciate that practice.
Yeah.
And now, as they're in college, they are choosing to do that on their own or to find other practice. If they call me and say, "I'm having a bad day," I'm like, "Go out for a walk." It leads back to find God everywhere, find
Yeah.
God in all things. Go outside, look at the trees, look at the sky. It settles you down. That's a spiritual practice. So
true. That's so good.
wherever you find it, sometimes for me it's being around my family. That's my spiritual practice of just being in their love, and that settles me. Other times it's being out in nature. Other
Wow.
times it's sitting in church. So I want to be able to provide that or introduce that to other people.
Yeah.
Find your space.
Yeah.
My kids used to say, "How come Aunt Susie doesn't go to church?" And I said, "Well, she does yoga. That's her spiritual practice." So whatever it is, find it. And I think you'll find God there, and you'll know, as Father Mugg says, God loves you.
That's
and you'll find
beautiful.
that love. So
Yeah, that's beautifully put. And I think that kind of ties into the idea of belonging. I know that's something that has been a reoccurring theme, not only in the Grace Center, but just, on campus in the community. What does belonging mean to you, and what does that really look like in the Lemoyne Way?
So I think, simply put, belonging, I think, just is when you feel seen and heard. But that can be different for a lot of different people, whether it's their personality or whatever. Some people don't like the limelight, Honestly, I think back to when my son was in, I think it was 3rd grade. He had this new young teacher, and we went in for the parent-teacher conference. We'd always go in, and they would say, what are your kids doing okay in reading, blah, blah, blah. But this teacher said, I did this little quiz for all of our kids to find out how they want to be recognized, and one of the
Wow. questions
was like, if your child found a $5 bill on the floor and they turned it into the teacher, would they like the teacher just to thank them? Would they like an announcement on the announcements to say thank you to this kid who found the $5, whatever? So, right, you find out how, like for me, I don't like a big line. Like, I don't need to be announced from the podium, Kasha did this. If someone just sees me and says, hey, nice job, that's good. So back to that's kind of belonging for
Yeah.
me. That's how I want to belong. If just one person sees maybe a little something I did, I like that recognition. I don't need, but for someone else who really likes that, then I want to know what that is so that
Right.
they can be seen in that space. I hope I'm
Yeah.
making sense
Yeah,
with that.
that
So
is-
that's my kind of description of being seen, being heard, and again, whether it's, some people aren't comfortable talking in a group. So if you're,
Right.
for us in a staff meeting, I don't want to call on somebody who's like, now you speak, because maybe that's not their comfortable space, and maybe they are processing it differently. I process out loud, so I,
Yeah.
and I try to tell you guys, I'm just thinking out loud here. But I know other people, particularly like my husband, thinks inside, so I have to be really patient and and wait for him to process it through, for him then to speak it. So that's what I try to see in other people. How do they want to be seen and heard? And then that hopefully makes them feel like they belong.
That is beautiful. And it really makes me reflect on, like, the idea that belonging really starts with you. You know, when you think of, like, belonging and creating a community that is coherent with that, it really starts with you. Opening up that space, being receptive to hearing people's ways of living and perspectives and things of that nature so that they feel belonging.
Right.
You know, belonging doesn't necessarily have to be, I have to fit into this mold or this box, you know, and I love that story. That I think whatever that teacher's name is, she needs to get.
It's a he.
Whatever he, I was thinking of my mom. She's a teacher, so that's a good.
Right.
That's a good
He
thing.
was right, and then I mean I could go on about that. For my son to have a male teacher at a young age was super cool, and it was probably the moment for my son where he felt seen and heard. Because for many people, if you know, a lot of times little boys in school, they don't fit the mold. They don't sit with their pencil and write or whatever. And this teacher saw these little boys that were squirmy and needed to move and all of that. And so I just appreciate that he saw and heard my son, and it made my son feel like he belonged in school.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. The last question before we get into the final, fast round is, if you can give one piece of advice to students about navigating their time at Le Moyne, what would it be?
Take chances. Go outside your comfort zone. And my good friend Giovanni Lucas, another shout out, always said, be around people that don't look like you or act like you. Get into space that's maybe not comfortable. This is the time to do it. You have 4 years or 5 or however long it takes you, right? However long it takes you, right? Or 6. This is the time to do it. And then it'll give you the confidence to do it even as you get older, right?
True.
But this is the time to get into that space, and you have it all right here in front of you. I mean, we talk about kind of this list of things you should do before you graduate. If you're an athlete, make sure you go on retreat. If you are really involved in campus ministry, make sure you go to a game. Go to a volleyball game. Go to a swim meet. It's not lacrosse or basketball. Go to something you've never experienced before.
Wow.
Just get out of that comfort zone. Take a class that scares you, Take chances.
That's beautiful. And I think it's just, you're making my mind think about so many things. It's just like, you have to be really intentional with that.
You have to be really intentional.
You have to be really intentional. Because obviously having, 3 kids navigating college, how it is with, you're fresh into college, even if you're a junior or senior, like still navigating social responsibility, relationships, school, sports, if you're an athlete, maybe you're working, you got family, like all of that kind of can take kind of your energy and your ability to just be intentional and think about those things, So I think what you're saying is 100% true. And it really can change your life if you approach it from that.
And you don't have to do a ton, right? Our students are super busy.
4 years.
But just say, this semester, I'm going to do one thing.
That's it.
That's outside of my comfort zone.
Be intentional with that.
Be intentional.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to move into the final segment, the fast round, quick fire questions.
All right, hit me.
And then we'll end the podcast. Okay, so Kasha Godleski, these are your fast round questions. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Okay. Morning person or night owl?
Morning, because I get up early and go work out, but I do like a late night.
On the weekend,
Yeah.
You stay up. Favorite spot on campus?
Probably the chapel or outside the chapel. Yeah, it's a beautiful, peaceful space.
Okay, what's a book, podcast, or show you recommend to students?
A book, podcast, or show? Okay, show. My kids will make fun of me. Ted Lasso. Come on.
That is a great show.
It is a great show.
It's so good.
Oh, there's so many lessons. It's funny. It's endearing. All of it.
It's an elite show.
It's
so good. It's so good. Excuse me.
I don't watch many things twice. Once I watch a movie, I'm not going to watch it again. Ted Lasso, I watched 3 times.
3?
Love it. 3.
I've only watched it. I'm going to get back to it. I'm giving myself some space between when I watch it.
I'll watch it again, too.
It's so good.
So good.
Shout out to Coach Champ, put me onto that one. So
yeah.
shout out to
him.
Yeah, it was really good. Who or what inspires you most right now?
Ooh, who or what inspires me most? I guess it'll be a group. My family inspires me every day.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, just to be a better person. Yeah.
That's good.
My husband, my kids, my parents, my siblings. I have a great family. They inspire me.
Yeah, that's awesome. If you could instantly learn one new skill, what would it be? Anything. Instantly.
God, there's a lot of. I'm going to say probably knowing another language.
That's what I said. Well, my skill would be I can learn any language.
Right.
Any language.
Right, any language. But I don't just settle for one. Like if I could, I see Muggs talking with students in Spanish. It makes my heart happy. I just think it's so cool. Talk about connecting with somebody.
I know.
That's cool.
It's something I've thought about. I don't know, this is off tangent, but something I've thought about
sorry
is like
questions.
when I eventually do have kids, I want them to be bilingual, like really, really young. Like I want to be.
Yeah, just talk to them in 2 different languages.
Yeah, I mean, I got to learn that. But,
you got to learn her first.
Or I just find somebody who speaks.
Yeah. There you go. That's a good plan.
This ain't about me. All right. Favorite spot in or around Syracuse? Food spot, excuse me. Favorite food spot. I'm sorry.
Okay, Possibilities.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't been there.
Oh, okay. Let's go. Yeah, we'll go for lunch.
End show. No, yeah. One word to describe Lemoyne.
Community.
That's good. And then the last question, this was kind of a tie off of the one before, but if everyone from the Lemoyne community was listening right now, what would you want them to know in this moment?
Listen to each other. Just listen. Listen to understand. Don't listen to respond. Don't listen to convince the other person. Just listen to understand and sit with it.
Wow.
Give yourself a couple of days to understand.
That's beautiful. Kasha Godleski, thank you so much.
Thank you, Isaiah. So fun.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Moyne Way Podcast. Thank you to LCTV for making this production possible. A special thanks to the Carroll College of Arts and Sciences. And of course, gratitude to the Grace Center for making this possible. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to Grace Center and LCTV on the links below so you never miss out. We will see you guys next week. Deuces.